Mark Dolan, has there ever been a better illustration of a member of the royal family being so woefully out of touch with the lives of ordinary Brits who can we just remind him, Mark, are in the midst of a massive cost of living crisis? I mean, does he have any idea how much therapy costs?
I'll get your therapist to call my therapist. How much does a therapist cost? 100 quid an hour, probably. And in Hollywood, 1,000 quid an hour and the rest. It seems like Prince Harry, Dan, is competing with Prince Andrew to be the world's most unpopular prince. I've got post-traumatic stress disorder listening to that nonsense. He actually said that he'd been around soldiers recently and he, quote, started to realise parts of my own story were being mirrored or reflected in that. Now, he's talking about soldiers coming back from war, literally shaking with fear from what they've been through. This guy needs to get over himself. As you rightly said, another attack on Britain from the luxury of his Montecito mansion. It's an insult. And by the way, I think therapy, of course, if you've been through a trauma, anyone watching this programme should reach out because help is always there. But this obsession with therapy is now an industry. And of course, Dan, an industry that Prince Harry is part of. As you said, he was there representing Better Up, a coaching and mental health company who are paying him a fortune.
Exactly. This is all about lining his own pockets, Mark. Absolutely agree with that. I think what I find particularly frustrating about his comments is the fact that he always has to make an anti-Britain dig, and he also has to make an anti-royal family dig. And I think what is so crass about it, Mark, is you think about the two royals who in recent times have best exemplified the stiff upper lip approach, and it's the Queen and it's Prince Philip, his grandmother and his grandfather, who he keeps telling us he adores. Well, Harry, stop slagging them off in public.
Well, you're absolutely right. And I think that stiff upper lip is the best thing about this country because obviously, if there are problems in your life, you talk to people. But I think now that we've essentially reared a generation who are obsessed with their mental health. And I think there's a very big difference between a major trauma or severe clinical depression and just feeling a bit unhappy. And unfortunately, Prince Harry appears to be the king of the snowflake generation. And I don't think that these comments about the royal family and about Britain are acceptable, given the fact that he has left. He's in America. Why does he continue to lob these poison arrows in our direction? And how dare he criticise the monarchy and the royal family whilst hanging on to those titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex? He's not the Duke of Sussex. He's the Duke of hypocrisy.
Well, indeed. And Mark, look, 100%, I agree with you. If you want to get therapy, if you think that is going to help you, absolutely fine. But he's talking about a approach, a country by country approach, a philosophy. And I just think let's look at members of the royal family. So the Queen and Prince Philip lived through World War II, part of our greatest generation. The Queen was in London as Buckingham Palace was bombed. Now, the pair of them, as far as we know, never had therapy in their lives. Then you look at the royals who had a lot of therapy. Fergie, Harry's mother Diana, Harry himself, and they're messed up. I mean, all I'm saying is that it doesn't work for everyone. And actually, for some people, the stiff upper lip approach is best.
Well, that's right. And if you look at California, where everyone's got a therapist, they're all bonkers, Dan. And I loved your piece in the Mail Online. I read your columns religiously in the Mail Online. And you wrote about Harry. And, well, because it's compelling journalism and it's suffused with the truth. And you actually pointed out, because I think that in your heart, you've got deep sympathy for this guy.
Yes.
We all loved Harry. He was a carefree, fun-loving national treasure. I think second only to the Queen in terms of popularity back in the day.
Yes.
He was, wasn't he? He was just, such a character. He liked to drink. He was a bit naughty. And he was a dashing young prince. But he gave all of that up when he fell in love with the Princess of Woke, the woman that broke up the royal band, Yoko Ono herself, Meghan Markle. He hasn't been the same since then. But as you pointed out in that article, you said that you genuinely don't think this guy is happy. And I think that was really perceptive. And, the bottom line is that notwithstanding our criticism of this couple and their hypocrisy and, frankly, their lies at times, we want them to be happy. They've got two gorgeous kids. She's a very beautiful woman. And he's an international celebrity. But you know, the negativity, the toxicity, the backbiting, it's unseemly, it's unjustified, and it's unfair. But I think the root of it, as you say in that article, is that he's not happy. So therefore, all this therapy is not working, and he should ask for his money back.